In a place like Canada where it's winter 10 months a year, it's really important to know how to handle your drone when it's cold. So in this quick video, I'm going to tell you my 5 tips for droning in a cold weather environment. Before I get into my first tip, just going to say to stick around till the end because I have one tip that I haven't heard on other videos, which I think is pretty helpful, particularly if you're flying in really cold environments like we have in Canada here. But let's just get into my first tip. My first tip is to really know your rating of your drone. Currently, I'm flying a Mini 4 and it's rated at -10 Celsius. Now, keep in mind, you can push your drone quite a bit further than that. I've gone right into the mid -30s, -30 Celsius that is. But it's good to know what you're working with, and so read the specifications because every drone is different, manufacturers, whatnot. So get a sense of your equipment before you ever go out. The second tip that I have is, particularly when you drive to a location, you're not flying out of your backyard, is to put your drone together. Take your drone out of the bag and put it together in the car if you can, if you're flying close to where you're parking. If not, you can always make sure you have a camera bag or a nice clean area to put your drone together. And I'm talking about specifically about the finger controllers, the thumb controllers that run your drone, because it's really easy, especially when your hands are cold, to drop the equipment. So put it, if you can, together in the car and take it apart again later when you get back to the car, just in case you drop with those cold hands something into the snow and then are unable to find it while you're out. So always try to put my equipment together inside the car if possible, or over my camera bag when necessary. The third tip I have is, the colder it gets, things change, conditions change. So fly slow, take your first battery up, test it out, really get to know your drone, see how it works in various conditions. Try to get a sense of how cold or how the battery's performing. Have a look at it, see if there's ice forming on the drone. Just be cautious out of the gate, and I think that really helps. It helps develop a relationship with your drone where you get to know your equipment better, how it's going to perform in various conditions, and it's good to be cautious, and you develop that practice of being careful and working within the limits of the equipment. So put it up, see how it's working, see if ice is forming or you're getting any problems with it. Then take it up a little bit further, test it around, see how your battery's doing, whether it's dropping down quickly or not really, and then bring it back down, and then you can fly a little bit more confidently. And just a little bit of a side tip on that is I always keep my batteries in my coat pocket, especially in cold weather, and I do this with my camera equipment as well. And I'm not talking about the outside pockets. I keep them inside my coat against my chest for body warmth. And then what I do is I'll keep my fresh batteries on the left side, and then as I use them, I switch them to a different pocket, so I just know which pocket my good batteries are in. And then the used batteries I don't care about keeping warm, so I put them in a different pocket or back into the bag. But starting off with the batteries kept warm, that allows them to be as efficient as possible in cold weather and gets more mileage out of your drone on those cold days. So, and the last tip I have for you, and this is something I always do with my camera equipment, and this is more important when you're out in a cold, a really cold environment. Even if you don't even put your drone up and you've got it in your backpack all day, it's really easy for equipment to get really cold and actually freeze. And so what I do is I make sure that I don't take it out of my bag right away in a warm environment. Because then moisture in the air can condense on the frozen equipment, and without you really noticing and then thinking about wiping it down and drying it off, so you can get that moisture like soak right into the drone electronics. And this is more important when some of your drones aren't maybe as well weather sealed as camera equipment now. But just be cautious of that. If you get a bit of a drive and you're in a warm car and sometimes your camera bag comes back up to temperature, then you don't have to worry about it. But Just always be cautious of not being out in the minus 40 for 10 hours, coming into a nice hot environment, nice warm house, pulling all your equipment out immediately, because you can get that condensation moisture soaking into your equipment that way. So that's just something that I try to avoid. All right, so hopefully these 5 tips will help you with your winter drone experience and getting that crazy cold winter footage. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.